Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm Rebecca Roddy.
And I'm George Roddy.
And this month we're going to be talking about the struck off list, which is the results of auction list, which is for the August auction that just happened about 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And we're also going to be talking about the September auction list that just came out and some deals coming up on that.
Well, why don't you talk to us about those deals, Rebecca? Some of the deals, at least.
Yep. There were a couple of deals that stood out on the struck off list at the auction, and we cover North and Central Texas. So a couple of deals that stood out. There was one in Dallas. It is assessed at $73,000, and it's sold for $34,000.
What a deal.
What a deal. That's 46 cents on the dollar. Another house in Tarrant County, which is in Haltom City, assessed at $65,000 and sold for $45,000 at the auction.
That's a good deal.
And we had several other deals. We had in Bexar County. This is a big one. We had a house that is assessed at $470,000 and sold for $236,000 at the auction.
50 cents on the dollar.
Exactly. So those were a couple of deals that really stood out. How are these deals tied to what's going on in the real estate marketplace today?
Well, and everybody has heard, I'm sure, but if not, I'll tell you, all the markets in Texas are just tremendous at this point in time, and we're talking about the markets that we cover, as well as other markets that we don't cover, but that we have information on, and which includes DFW, Central Texas, which includes Austin and San Antonio. But in those markets, it's the same thing. The home sales are up by anywhere from 4 to 10%. The average home sale price is up anywhere from 4% to 10%. So it's really the same thing, same song, just different verse. We're in a super real estate market for home sales as well as commercial sales. So, and in fact, some of the sales that we're looking at this month for the September list, Rebecca can tell you about those.
Yeah, so there was a couple that I saw that were, again, kind of were a nice highlight to the September auction. One I found was in University Park. This is a 3,500 square foot home, and it's the value on that property, the tax assessed value on that property is $771,000. You don't typically see a ton of properties coming up in the University Park, but
right.
When I see that, I like to highlight that. There's one in Tarrant County in Colleyville, which is a 3,500 square foot home, and it's the value on that is about $470,000. And then I saw one in San Antonio, a 3,500 square foot home, about a $700,000 value on that one. So there's a lot of, and they range from the high end to the low end.
Right.
They're kind of all over the place, but those were a couple that I saw that kind of stood out to me.
Right, and the majority of the postings that we're seeing obviously are on the lower end. Rebecca's pointed out some of the higher end homes that are posted for foreclosure for the September sale.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we need to point out, of course, is that the majority of the sales, or excuse me, the majority of the postings are in the range of, say, 65 to 150,000. That is the majority. So not just high-end homes are being posted for foreclosure. Obviously, lower priced homes are too.
So these deals that we're seeing at the auctions and these great deals people are getting, how does that tie into the marketplace today, the real estate market?
Well, obviously, when you buy a property at the foreclosure auction, you have to have a means to dispose of that or resell it. That's the name of the game. So if you're going to flip the property, you have to be aware of different market conditions, and the most important condition is days on the market. So in other words, in the DFW area, we have an average, according to the MLS statistics, a total of 38 days on the market. So in other words, when you list that house, the average selling time is about 38 days. Again, in the DFW area, that is down from last year, which came in at 45 days on the market. So we had a significant drop in days on the market, and that's the most critical statistic for an investor buying a house at the foreclosure auction.
Wow. So basically you're saying that the investor is getting the property at a great price at the auction, but then able to flip it in a pretty quick time frame.
Exactly. Now, that obviously is going to be dependent on the condition of the house and other conditions that the investor or the person who is buying the house has to deal with. But on the average, 38 days on the market to sell a house is extremely good.
Wow. Yeah, that is good. So what are you seeing as far as posting, the number of postings coming up here in the future? I mean, what do you kind of see could affect that, the number of postings?
Well, as everybody has heard, foreclosures are down, certainly compared to a couple of years ago. But what we're seeing now is conditions that are coming up that will affect foreclosures and foreclosure postings in the near future. One, of course, is the job market and the jobs relating to the oil business. We have obviously seen some distressing news about the price of oil, and in fact, in the state of Texas, we actually, unfortunately, lead the nation in reported job losses, especially relating to the oil business. We saw 73,000 announcements of job cuts in the state of Texas for the first 6 months of the year. So that obviously is going to impact the person's ability to keep paying for their house. And when we have conditions like this, it's going to impact the number of foreclosure postings that we will see coming up in the next 6 months to a year.
So basically what you're saying, Dad, is we've kind of talked about some great deals that are still happening at the auctions, that are coming up at the auctions. The investor can still get a great deal. Unfortunately, with the job loss in Texas, with the oil and gas industry and other factors, which that is unfortunate, it will affect the posting, the number of postings. We've seen a decrease in postings compared to last year, but with those, with the job losses and in these different industries, it will definitely affect the postings coming up in the next, 6 months to a year?
6 months to a year, and it's all about jobs. And obviously, if there's any slowdown or layoffs in a particular industry, that is going to impact the ability for someone to pay their mortgage. We've talked about the good deals at the foreclosure auction, and we've talked about some of the negative things that are happening, but all in all, the real estate market is just dynamic at this time, and it's a wonderful opportunity to buy and sell real estate in the state of Texas. So we look forward to working with you all, and hope that you'll call if you have questions. And I guess that's about it, Rebecca.
That's it. I think that's it. Give us a call at 972-250-0993 or check out our website at foreclosure, the number 4, closure.info. And we're here to answer any questions that you may have. We'll see you next month.